one.
So we were having this horrible craving for sushi, not able to go out and get it. We decided to make it at home. Lucky enough to have most of the ingredients that we need on hand. So I'm going to show you how to make the world's easiest sushi roll. The first most important thing about any sushi, of course, is the rice. I just happen to have this rice on hand. You keep it in an airtight container. It's this very short-grained rice. Any type of short-grained rice would probably work. Anything that's called sticky rice, anything like that would work. This is Botan rice. It usually comes, it's in almost every supermarket, comes in a white package with red writing on it, pretty easy to find. I do a cup of that to 2 cups of water, so 1 part rice to 2 cups water, and absolutely nothing else. Now I could give you all these complicated ways to put it on the stove and get this cooking, but forget all of that. Do yourself a favor and buy one of these. Everybody should have a rice cooker in their house. You can do a zillion things with it. So I'm going to show you the easiest thing in the world to do. You just pour your rice in there. That's it. We're not going to pour the water in yet. We have to rinse off our rice. Just give it a good stir. Now do you see how the water's a little bit milky? I'm just going to pour that out. Give it another little stir. Pour that out. And we're good to go. Doesn't even need a lot of rinsing, just a tiny bit of rinsing. I suppose there's probably some people that think you need a lot of rinsing. I think this is good enough. So now I'm going to put it right back into our rice cooker. Put our 2 cups of water right in there. That's it. Nothing to that. Of course, I have to make sure it's plugged in. Put our top on. Press the button and forget about it. Let the piece of machinery do the work for you. This little button's going to go off when it's done. You'll even hear it pop up. The little handle will pop up. And then once it's done, let it sit for 5 minutes. That's it. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to make sushi rice. So here's everything that you need. You need some sort of short grain rice. I use this Botan rice. You can get it at almost any grocery store. It comes in a white package with red writing on it. Most grocery stores have it today. I use 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. So that's 1 part rice, 2 cups water. This is cooked together, which of course we're going to show you how to do. A little bit of rice vinegar for the sushi rice. 1 tablespoon of sugar, again, for the sushi rice, and I'll show you how to make that happen. This particular sushi rice, rice vinegar is a seasoned rice vinegar. You really don't need a seasoned rice vinegar, but we're under quarantine and this is what I had at home. So I used actually a tiny little bit less in sugar than I would normally use. I happen to have these nice little bamboo mats. If you don't have them, order one on Amazon. Just like your rice cooker, you can get one on Amazon. I put plastic wrap over it. Any fillings you want, you can literally put anything into a roll of sushi that you want. We happen to like avocado rolls. We happen to have avocados. A very large bowl and a big scoop. And I'll explain all of that later. All right, our rice is all cooked. I've poured it into this rather large bowl. And if you've noticed, I've sort of pushed it around a little bit. This helps to start the cooling process. I also took our rice wine vinegar and the sugar, melted the sugar in it over a very low flame for just a couple of seconds, just until it melted and got a little bit syrupy. Then you start to pour it in, just a little bit at a time. And you want to do this while the rice is still a little bit warm. And you want to keep moving the rice around to absorb what you've poured in without crushing the actual rice. But you got to keep moving it, you got to keep adding it until it's 100% incorporated. If you pour it in when the rice is cold, it'll only coat the outside of the rice. The way we're doing it is going to coat the entire rice and it's going to actually taste like sushi rice. And then we'll be back. So our rice has cooled enough to be able to handle it. And now we get to do the fun part. You take your little bamboo mat, just to make it a lot easier for you, to make it very non-stick, just cover it up with some plastic wrap. Lay your plastic wrap down. Take a big mound of rice. Fill up this one edge over here. Leave a little bit on the side. A little bit on this side. It's a little bit like a puzzle. You'll see when I start pushing it down. Now, here's a little hint. Take a little cup of water. This is really, really sticky. You're gonna get your fingers wet, and that's what's gonna help you push that down. So every time you get too sticky, just get your fingers wet. You wanna kind of push this out evenly, but we're not going all the way to the edge. We're just flattening it, leaving a tiny edge here. Neatness counts because it will show in your roll once you get it all done. Okay, now you take your filling. Like I said, we're going to use some avocado, and you start to lay that out. See how there's a little bit of rice there? Now I'm putting my filling right across there and leaving a slightly larger spot of rice free and clear. Now if you're anything like us, we like a lot of avocado in our roll, so I'm just going to use the whole half in this one very giant roll. Hopefully I can still roll it. Okay, again, I'm just going to make my fingers a little bit wet just to make it a little easier for me because of the stick factor. Take two corners, lift it up. See how I've made like a little bit of a shelf here? And now I'm going to start lifting it over. You see how I'm going to push all this in here so it's nice and compact? And see how I'm bringing this edge all the way down. Bring the edge all the way down. See how there's still a little bit of rice there? You want to see that. And take your roll, squeeze. And now, lift up that edge. Pull your roll forward. Drop it back down. Squeeze. Clean up your sides. And we now have a sushi roll. Wasn't that easy? Now, not quite as easy to cut it. So again, hands wet. And I even like to make my knife a little wet. Just like they do it at the sushi restaurants. Start right in the center, just to make things nice and even. And if your knife gets too gunked up, no big deal, wipe it down. Get a little more water. I think we're getting a little sticky again, so I'll give it a little more wipe, a little more water. And the sharper your knife, the less you're going to crush your rolls. So just be kind of gentle as you go through them. Then, you don't have to have a fancy plate like this, but if you do, it'll make it really pretty. Serve with soy sauce, and there's our homemade avocado rolls.